Testing, testing.
Mm-hmm.
You're hot now.
Check these.
Testing.
Hello.
Hey guys.
This is why we do this. Hey, Facebook. We're just testing some mics, doing some work. So this is where it gets fun. So I had to run 2.5 minute intervals this week.
Wow.
I'd run 1.5, but I've never done 2.5.
That's
So
amazing.
I was a little, yeah, right. I was
That's a
like
long
little
time.
like. So the funny thing is,
Probably like quarters.
it's
They're probably quarter miles.
Yeah.
so
Probably.
it's 5-minute walk,
Mm-hmm.
1 minute, 1.5 minute run, 1.5 minute walk, 2.5 minute run, 2.5 minute walk, 2.5 minute run, 2.5 minute walk, and then it slopes down to 1.5, 1.5, and then 5-minute walk.
Yeah.
So the runs are generally about 35 minutes.
Right.
But here's the kicker. So when I started this journey, running for 1 minute was daunting, and then it wasn't. Running for 1.5 minutes was daunting, and then psychologically, my body started at the beginning. It was, okay, feels like I've been running for a minute, and I'd look down, and sure enough, 30
Hit
seconds
the-
left.
yeah.
Yeah. 2.5 minutes at first, I'll just say it, wasn't pleasant. By the second or third time I did it, it was like,
I can do that.
so now I'm starting
Hi.
to think. So now I'm starting to
Join
hey,
the
Corey,
crowd.
Come on. So now I'm starting to think you're on time. Come on.
I'm like,
We can
I got
share
a
my.
minute
We
to
can share this
spare,
mic.
So
I
we're
was
not hot
lost.
yet. So you guys know we will.
You're on Facebook.
We're on Facebook Live. Shout out everybody on Talk 107.3. Let me share this real fast. So the way this works is
Hey,
we're going
Corey.
to do a
Hey,
2-minute
Jimmy.
intro. You guys will be on for about 15 minutes. We're going to talk a little bit about varsity sports, all the wonderful things you guys do, and then the running culture, the
Okay.
Baton Rouge running community, which I've been like, they've done this to me. They let me come.
I told him to be careful who his friends are. Right, Jenny?
So
Yeah.
the funniest, this is just how funny things are. So one of your employees took extra care of me, and she goes, "You need to get this Glide stuff." I'm like thinking, Glide? I'm not running that fast.
You needed it.
Yeah. I had a present for you and I forgot it in my truck.
It's all right.
You did?
I'll bring
You're
it
an
back
amazing
up. It's
person,
some
Laura.
little running posters.
Oh, cute.
You know,
cute.
so-
Motivational kind
If
of
you
thing.
put one foot in front of the other, you're a runner.
Oh, yeah.
So that goes back to what I was saying is what's funny is it occurred to me, like, I'm not a stupid person. I mean, I've got a little bit of lawyer brains in here. But it occurred to me, man, if in week 3 I'm doing 2.5 minutes, where am I going to be in week 6? Or where am I going to be in week 8 where maybe the idea of running 3 miles consecutive. Now, granted, what's interesting about this app is it says run at a pace that you can have a conversation.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm running by myself right now, so I'm like singing Zippity Doo Dah.
Yeah,
I'm
you just
like
talk to yourself.
like engulfing air. One of the things we need to talk. We're gonna talk. We're gonna bond.
All right.
How many paces before intaking air, and how many paces extaking air? I'm trying to do 5 and 5. So I'm trying to do a 5 cadence. And by the way, I can barely chew gum and walk at the same time, let alone.
I don't have a rule for that. I
don't
just
either.
think when it
I run
comes,
my
comes
feel.
natural. Yeah. It's
Well, I'm
just-
glad you're telling me that because at first coming natural was like.
But I remember when I first started running, like I would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like I would count my steps, and then I would like kind of
kinda
do my
good to make
breathing
you
with my
account-
steps. I don't
Am
know.
I the only one that does it based off the music I'm listening to?
It does
You
kind of.
could do
it does
that
kind of-
too.
Right, that's
Right,
it. I
right.
love that.
So if you're on Facebook Live right now, I've got Corey, Amy, Jenny. So y'all come away around this way. You can't see. I'm going to show.
All
I
right.
want. Corey has a beautiful face. We never get rid of
Come
her.
on, Corey.
Come on.
All
Yeah.
right.
Oh,
So
I
you
just
guys are
hide
going to
my
share.
face.
You guys are going to
Hide my
share
face.
this mic. You're going to share that one. This is a temperamental mic, so you got to be a little closer. I'll do the 2-minute intro. We're gonna segue right in. If you're watching on Facebook Live and you're a fan of these ladies, just share. You've got a tribe. You definitely have a tribe.
Well, Amy's got to follow me.
So other funny story on one of my days, and we'll start in about 2 seconds. I'm just waiting on the other person to get here. Other funny story is I discovered that Capitol Heights, perfect place to do a walk or a run. Right? They got the bike lane,
Right.
the other lane, and I'm not really sure which one I'm supposed to be using, but I go against the flow.
Right.
So I go the full length of the Capitol Heights, and I'm
That's
walking.
a long
Walk day. I get to Brouhaha. I turn it about face, and I think I'll just walk back on Government, see what that's like.
Yeah.
Totally different experience.
It is.
Government's like one world.
Yes.
Capitol Heights, I'm like, people with dogs, like little children playing. Government's like, am I going to get hit by cars? Is this going to happen? It could happen.
Yeah, it's like you're only one block away, but you're like in Stepford all of a sudden.
Almost got hit by a garbage truck. That was fun,
Oh,
exciting.
wow.
So yeah, you ready to do the two? We are waiting.
Are we supposed to pull
Where
this
should we
microphone
look?
closer to
Yeah,
us?
bring that
We
one
look
around.
any certain direction or anything?
You just have the conversation.
Okay.
What are we talking about?
I've done a Facebook Live before at school.
Yeah, I have too, but it's been always silly. Wearing glasses and
Yeah.
bikinis.
I did it when Greg was wrapping presents.
last
Last year, I was
Yeah,
like,
ours are
let's
always
try
silly.
this Facebook Live thing. Next thing you knew, there were all these people watching. And I'm like, oh, don't worry, Greg, no one's watching.
And they all popped on.
And they all popped on to see what presents he was wrapping.
I love the one when he was Santa and he was telling the little story,
Yes.
the little night before Christmas thing.
Yeah, he was telling his night before Christmas
was
story.
Christmas in July, I'll be here for you know it.
I know, we got to get it
Yeah,
planning.
that's
Mhm.
right.
So the only problem with the shorts. So she fit me on the right shorts.
Yes.
We played the short game, right?
Mhm.
So I have the compression shorts underneath, and I don't know, by the way, the lingo.
Yeah.
I
But that's
I did
good.
I did buy a running back from Amazon.
You did, you
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, the problem was, so theoretically, I could change clothes in my office, which is on St. Ferdinand,
Mhm.
and I could run or walk a little bit in the Garden District or wherever after you get through some of the other areas of town. But I didn't want to have to drive all the way home to get my running clothes to go wherever I was going
Right.
to run.
You need to
right?
be,
Right.
it needs to be convenient. Mm-hmm.
Hold on one second. Dude, I'm recording a radio show. What's up? All right, thanks, man. Bug guy. I can close the gate now. So I got the bag coming, but the running shorts, I need to get some more of those. Because then the funny conversation was, I asked Julie, I said, how often do you wash the running shorts? And she goes, every time you wear them. And I'm like, oh. And she goes, you're not washing them.
Boys.
You're not washing them every time. And I'm like, well, I mean, theoretically, yeah. I mean,
You can bring them in the shower with you and
Hey.
wash
Yeah.
them.
that's what I was. That was.
You can, yeah.
I
A lot
do
of people
both.
do
I
that.
actually walk in the.
Walk in the
I
shower
could
with
do
your
that.
clothes on.
I
If
could
I
do that.
don't
But
sweat,
then
I
they-
may wear them twice.
But they
Well,
do.
let me let you in on a secret, Corey. This guy, he sweats.
Okay.
I always
I
Ready?
don't sweat a lot.
I'm a double
Yeah.
washer.
a double washer.
I wash them in the shower, then put them in the
We're
dirty
gonna have a
clothes.
fun. We're gonna have a fun conversation.
Was that taught me that trick about
Walk
wearing them in
in,
the
just
wash?
wash.
All right, killing the mics for a minute, Facebook. So.
This is the Go Rouge Show, where host Franz Borghardt celebrates businesses and people who are making Baton Rouge a better place. From culture to business, from food to philanthropy, Go Rouge connects you to what and who is happening. Now, here's your host, Franz Borghardt.
All right. Welcome to another episode of the Go Rouge Radio Show. This is your host, Franz Borghardt. If you're listening on Talk 107.3 or on Facebook Live, welcome to episode 75, Brian. Episode 75. I know you
I'll
don't
get you to correct it one day. It's all right.
Yeah. My goal is to do 100 and then I'm out. So, episode 75. This is what we got going on today before I announce the sponsors. Today we've got Varsity Sports and the Baton Rouge running community on. We've got Studyville. And in the second half of the show, we're going to have the folks from the Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge talking about a charity fundraiser. I'm going to let them kind of take over a little bit on that one since, I don't really drink anymore, and they're coming into the studio right now with tons of booze. But that being said, great show lined up. Before we jump into it, Brian,
Yes, sir.
I need to go on and announce we're having a competition, a weight loss competition.
Fat Boy 50.
Fat Boy 50, 6 more pounds for Franzi.
Yeah.
6 more pounds.
You can kiss whatever fat's left in my rear because you're going to end up beating me.
Well,
You're going to end up beating me.
Speaking of rear, after I win the competition, I'm going to need your help supporting Get Your Rear in Gear. I'm running my first 5K trying to raise money to fight colon cancer. Get your rear in gear. How about that? So we're going to talk a little bit about that in the first segment. But before we do that, let's thank our show sponsor. These are the men and women, the businesses that make the Go Rouge Radio Show possible. First and foremost, Sullivan's Steakhouse, your neighborhood steak restaurant. We are going to be doing Knockout Tuesdays every other week. We have one coming up this coming week, Knockout Tuesdays.
So you go from Bourbon Society today to Knockout Tuesday,
Again,
and you're
I
not
don't
going to drink it either.
I don't
one.
drink it either of them.
You need a designated drinker.
I'm dry. I do actually. I do. I'm dry like the Sierra. So come to Sullivan Steakhouse. Great place to have a business lunch. Great place just to do a happy hour. Their happy hour bar menu is fantastic. Great burgers. La Divina Italian Cafe open every day with your custom made from scratch breakfasts. Love them. Dr. Gunja Rina, MD VIP at Heal 360. She is the one who gets all the credit for helping me. I mean, I've done a little bit of work.
All the credit?
She gets a lot of credit.
I mean, I'm looking at the
Varsity
three ladies
Sports.
to your left, and
We're
they get
gonna
a
talk
little bit
about-
of the credit.
Then we're going to talk about the digital scanning of our feet to get the right shoes on our feet. Dude, running with the Hokas, it's like running on the moon. It's like running on the moon.
I'm actually due for a new pair of something, but because I've worn straight through the last ones I got at the Varsity, which was a little more than a year ago.
So a year ago, Varsity outfitted me with some tennis shoes, and then it took me about a year to start using them as running shoes, but I'm using them
see?
now. So
Yeah.
there you go. So last but not least, the Borkart Law Firm, criminal defense firm. That's my lemonade stand. That is Brian, as you know, the finest criminal defense firm in the universe. Those are the show sponsors. We thank them for their support, but more importantly, we have some wonderful ladies in the studio this morning. We have Jenny Peters, Amy Hall, Corey Hebert. Ladies, good morning. Welcome to the show. I have entered into the running subculture, and it is a subculture. It is a thing. Running in Baton Rouge, it's a thing. Now, you guys know Patrick Fellows, right? Patrick has helped Brian and I with some of our weight loss competition through feeding us healthy foods. But Brian will tell you, Patrick has been telling us from day one, you need to get out there and start moving it. Even if it's just a walk, you need to get out there and start moving it. So somehow, some way, Jenny. So Jenny and I met about, when was that? We did our first Fat Boy 50 competition.
It was just before COVID shut everything down. So late February, early March of 2020.
So we went into Varsity Sports, best place to buy athletic running gear. We went in, had our feet digitally scanned. I know there's a technical term for it, but it was the coolest thing ever. And I got some tennis shoes and some socks, and they sat, and they sat, and they sat. And then fast forward, I'm in this health phase of my life, and I randomly meet a group of runners at Simple Joe's one Sunday. Great people. Runners are great people. They're very friendly. But you know what? You guys can be intimidating, though, because we think, us outsiders, now I'm an insider, us outsiders think that you guys are these elite kind of no, couldn't be nicer people, Jenny. So that is why Amy and Corey are here, because I am in their little tribe now, and, of course, you're in the tribe, too. So let's start with Varsity. Tell me a little bit about the history behind Varsity Sports. I mean, what do you guys do? Who needs to come to Varsity Sports?
We are 21 years old this summer, believe it or not. If you ask me, I'd say,
You can buy. They can go to Sullivan's now.
No, we are legal. And we just evolved out of a little house on Perkins Road.
Right.
Seriously, I was a competitive runner for years, and there came a point where you just couldn't find any good running shoes. So we said, let's turn this little house into a running store, and the rest is history.
Awesome. So what I love about your place is you go in there and someone asks you, what do you need? And I'm the guy that's like, I don't really know what I need, but this is what I think I need. And it's as little as I needed socks. I needed running socks. Because as a new runner, I have the shoes. I got my shoes from Varsity, as you know, Brian. But I needed socks. And so the wonderful human being that helped me, she will remain nameless because I don't want her to get in trouble for what I'm about to say. She takes me to the sock area. And she goes, these socks are 3 for $12. These are good socks. And these socks are a little bit more expensive. They're one pair for $12. And she's looking at me, and I go, which do I need? And she goes, well, we don't know yet. And I said, well, what do I do? And she goes, you're going to buy one for $12, and you're going to buy the 3 for $12, and we're going to test it.
Absolutely know who that
Yeah,
staff member
right,
is.
yeah. And we're going to test them out. And I got to tell you, I've tried both, and candidly, the cheaper ones have been working fine.
There
you go.
So,
Great
other
socks.
thing, same
They're great socks.
employee, not going to name any names. I have 2 pairs of running shoes from Varsity. I told her, she goes, how's it running? And I told her, I said, so my Hokas, love them, awesome. My New Balance, when I run with them, it's better feeling in the run, but I get ankle blisters on the back end. And she goes into this dialogue about all the things we can do and tweak, including maybe adding moleskin, maybe doing this, maybe we need to adjust the socks. And then she starts talking about the shoestrings, and I'm just looking at her like, I just don't want blisters, man. Tell me what to do, and I'm going to do. So I love the fact that you can come. It's okay. So there's like this mystique about running, right? There's like it's kind of like if you are a wine enthusiast, Wine Outsiders, the number one thing they say about wine is, man, it's intimidating. I don't know anything about wine, and I don't know how to
The
start.
word snob comes up a lot.
Well, runners aren't snobbery.
No. But that's why I'm setting you up
but
with
there's
the line
that mystique, right?
Yes.
So you go into varsity, and whether you're an Amy who knows a little bit about running, or Corey, or you're me, you get the help you need. And we're not exaggerating. Like digital scanning of your foot to judge what shoe you need to be having in on your foot to run. And then the follow-up is, when you go to get your next pair, is, well, how's that pair been working? Because you guys keep track of that, right? Entire process, Brian, for us didn't take very long, did it? I mean, it was, 5 minutes? Tops?
Maybe.
And then the hardest thing
Yeah.
was getting the pair of shoes that we...
The longest part of the whole process was deciding what we liked.
Right.
Which is on us. It's on
Right,
me. It's
right.
like I can't make up my mind.
So the funniest part of this, and then we're going to jump over to the running culture, is we were talking before the show about shorts and running and decreasing of friction. I, as a guy that's lost a considerable amount of weight, have body parts that are not as toned as Jenny's. Okay, so there's a little bit of flapping in the wind, so to speak. No. Don't make that face. It's just I've loose.
You're the one that chose the phrasing, boss.
My arms, my legs, and so someone said get compression shorts, and so I get some compression shorts, and I'm not used to wearing shorts that tight. And they're not really tight, Corey, but they're tighter than I. And so like I'm wearing long shirts because I'm self-conscious about. Look, I read Brene Brown. I can be vulnerable on the radio. I mean, it's okay. So, anyways, I don't know where I was going with that. Anyways, Amy, you have a running group. Okay, so talk to me about how and you're not from Baton Rouge originally, right?
No, I'm not.
So talk to me a little bit about the Baton Rouge running culture. How did you start this group? How did you get involved? Because I know it's tethered or connected to varsity, right? So talk to me about it.
Right. So when I first came to Baton Rouge, like I saw all these shirts that said "Run hard, live easy," and I was like, I need to find these people. And I would see them running all over the place, but I could never quite catch them.
So you were a runner beforehand, though.
I was. I started running when I was 43. So I wasn't a very fast runner when I started running, but yeah, I was right
But
there
she is
with
now.
you.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was actually signing up for my benefits at work, and the person who was helping me is Amy Santani, and she just
Right.
happens to be super fast and super cool. And she was like, well, you need to come run with Jenny Peters in the varsity group. And I'm like, is that the Run Hard, Live Easy people? Because I need that shirt. And she's like, yeah, that's them. So I came the first day. I got lost because I didn't know the route, because I didn't know Baton Rouge. But these people in varsity shirts were like, I'm like, are you running with these
They're
people?
moving in herds.
And they're like, yeah. And I said, they're like, how far are you going? I said, I'm going as far as you are, and I'm going the way you're going. So these two guys got me back to my car, and I met Jenny that day, and the rest is history.
So I live in Mid-City. I've experienced the Brouhaha weekend mornings where you guys congregate there. Capitol Heights, I never appreciated running on Capitol Heights like I do now. So you have how many people in your little running group?
Well, so I usually run with the
Right.
varsity group.
It's really
but-
varsity's running group, but
it
you
is,
also
but-
have your own little.
We
Well,
have
So-
an early group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's an early group. So there's a group of us that prefer to run earlier in the morning because
They're
maybe
6:30.
we run at 6:30 on Saturdays because like we need to get to work, or we don't
Right.
like the heat or whatever. And then I have started a Torture Tuesday group.
I've heard about this Torture
Tuesday is super fun. You really ought to come someday. For
Sounds
that.
great. Sounds like an amazing experience.
We need a bigger group.
We need to recruit. My dog runs with me too, so.
Yeah, so I have a mini schnauzer, and I've seen her dog, and I'm like, Molly, my mini schnauzer, she's an older girl. She's got some mileage on her. I'm like, man, if I ran like 3 miles with Molly would not be in a good. Your dog though runs how far?
Well, the furthest she's run is 22 miles. She trains with me for my marathons. I'm convinced she could do a marathon if it was cool enough outside.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Brooklyn's amazing.
Yeah,
All
she
right.
is.
So Corey, how are you in this mix?
Well, someone said similar to Amy, like, you should come run with varsity. But I've been running since I was 19.
Okay.
And I'm from Baton Rouge, but I grew up in Alabama, and then I moved back here in 2000. And I've always run just kind of on my own. And what I loved about Baton Rouge is so many running groups, and it's such a great supportive community. So finally a friend said, well, you should come run with varsity. People used to always ask me, do you run with varsity? Do you run with varsity? And I kind of didn't know what they were talking about, actually, because have always been a lone runner.
But, Corey makes a good point is that not just our group, Baton Rouge has got a lot of good groups. There's Mid-City, there's Black Girls Run, there's Pat's Fresh Junkie Group, there's Happy's. And, they're all a lot of people, and some of them overlap, but some of them don't. But we're very, very compatible and cooperative, and we try to get together when we can. So it's wonderful.
My favorite thing about this group is, so I told your husband, Amy, I said, listen, I'm running. I am using this app. And I said, but I got to be real honest with you. I kind of don't, my insecurity, and I can be an insecure person, Jenny. My insecurity is they're going to leave me behind, and I'm going to be the dude at the back of the pack, and then I'm going to get lost. And your husband was like, you won't be the last one. And I was like, and so what's
that support.
But here's the thing, though. I have only run by myself. And sometimes that is an amazing meditative therapeutic thing, but I also see the benefit of having somebody that you can. Now, this idea of running and having conversations at the same time, I'll have to experience that to believe it. But
Come with me.
yeah,
I'm a talker.
We talk all the time.
because I see myself, Jenny. I see myself as being the guy that's like, "That's great,"
You can
go.
just listen.
Yeah.
Just listen,
You're
and then
along
all of
for
a
the ride.
sudden you start talking.
All right. So if I
need to
wanted
try it.
if I wanted to get into the varsity running, I can go to your website, and there's literally running happening every single day, right?
Just about.
Just about.
So where would I go, Jenny?
Go to the calendar at varsityrunning.com. There's a calendar. Every Sunday night I post what we're going to do and where we're going to do it. So, and there's workouts from 1 mile to, whatever, up to 10 miles.
So, okay. So this is a question I've asked, and I'm curious about it. Okay. Let's say hypothetically I don't have an internal GPS system in my brain. How do I not get lost? Do I just
publish
stay with
a
the
map.
You publish a map. So do people
Every
carry
time.
the map, or is it
Sometimes
just
people will carry their phone, which has the map on it.
okay?
I actually will write the turns down on a piece of paper, and then I stick it in a Ziploc bag in my pocket so it doesn't get sweaty while I'm running. And I look and it says right on steel, left on whatever, because I get lost a lot.
But most of them are pretty familiar. I mean, we
Yeah.
use a lot of areas of Baton Rouge, places people hadn't been, but they, you get pretty used to it. And Corey,
Well, I
I
would
think you had some
imagine.
thoughts on that.
Well, I just write it on my hand. Because I'm not a huge sweater.
Corey, you
so it's-
literally write it on your hand.
Right, like Amy. Right on steel, left on whatever. But I do want to put in a shameless plug that I run a Capitol Heights run group that you need to come run with.
Dude, Capitol Heights is my jam.
Yeah, you definitely.
I
need
never
to.
realized.
Monday
was it-
nights. We're very small. Monday nights.
So Capitol Heights
6
is.
miles probably is good.
So-
and not
Yeah.
intimidating.
If you drive down Capitol Heights and you never walked it, you wouldn't know that there's a place where concerts happen. You wouldn't know there's like the little bitty library, the mini library. Yeah, I mean, there's little things the nuances you miss with Capitol Heights. But let me tell you, Capitol Heights. Okay, so what's the rule? Do I run on the bike side or do I run on the other side? Which is the running lane?
Well, I stay facing traffic, so I just stay on the left side. I know it's one way, but
Right. So
Can't
do
really
bicyclists get pissed if I run in the bike because it's
no,
wider? I'm
no,
wider.
no
I like
one
wider.
cares. They
Yeah.
just,
They'll swerve
they just
around
take over
you,
the
hopefully.
street,
Yeah.
you know.
So I've
on
almost got
Capitol
hit by a car, but that was more on me than the truck, the garbage truck. The dogs seem very friendly on Capitol Heights. I've never gotten chased by anything yet. So varsity sports running. So you mentioned something. Lots of different running groups. So varsity, you guys start in different places though, right?
Uh-huh.
So all on the website, all that.
All under on the calendar.
Okay,
Yep.
so in our remaining minutes, and Brian, I could talk to these ladies all episode. In our remaining minutes, though, I want each of you to give a couple of pointers. If you're like me, and you're trying to get into running, and you've gotten your proverbial big toe in the water, what are some tips you got? And we'll start with Corey. What are some tips you have for the new runner? Since you've been running since you're like,
Yeah, over 30 years.
wow.
Yeah. I say do it for fun and don't get too caught up in do I have the right equipment?
Okay.
Do I have the right pace? I'm a big run for feel. It's the way I've dealt with my stress for 35 years, I guess, now. So, and it works for me,
Yeah,
right?
good for you.
Do I look stressed?
You look
No,
ve-
ma'am.
well. You know,
Well, the semester's over. So
I don't
My
know how-
semester's over and I went to yoga. this
I
morning,
don't
but
know a
also
nice
I'm
way of
Kimberly
saying
Nussbaum.
this. Everybody in the running group is slightly is the word I'm going to use, older than I am. But you all look fantastic. Like, I'm the one who looks like the old man. I mean,
Telomeres, your telomeres stop
Yes.
growing if you're a runner.
But if you come, there is everybody. There
Right.
is a gamut.
yeah.
little
of
kids
ages.
all
Yeah.
the way up to Julia Hawkins is what 100.
Yeah, I mean it's.
So,
What
you
is she
know,
now,
You're seeing the
101 or-
40 through 60,
So
but
my-
there's every age.
so
which
my
is good.
son is 5. So my son is 5, and he can't run for distance yet, but he would probably go to the park with me and run a little bit. And my goal is
Yeah.
for it to be something we can do together.
Fantastic.
So don't just run for fun. Run for fun. Amy, what are your tips?
My tips are take your rest days because
Okay.
if you
Oh,
don't,
yeah.
you're going to get injured. And especially in Baton
Yeah.
Rouge, drink a lot of water and Gatorade
So,
and whatever while you're running.
I didn't
Or
ap-
not while you're running, but be hydrated.
So I didn't appreciate this whole idea of letting your muscles rest until I tried to run 2 days in a row, and that was not smart.
Yeah.
Like, now I walk on the off days, and my walk, look, the off day walking is a relaxing, like I'm just
Sure.
walking a couple of miles. Yeah, I mean it's wonderful. It is absolutely wonderful. And now the weather's getting a little warmer, and so I'm all about the hydration thing.
Yeah.
Now I'm not to the point where I'm carrying water with me because I've got this bulky cell phone and I got to figure out what
Yeah.
to do with that. We're going to talk about that. Do I need to get like a little wrist thingy or something?
Okay.
So you're making faces.
I
How about don't carry the cell phone
don't
with you,
carry
Franz?
the cell phone, Franz. Yeah,
Wait, I can exist as a human being without having my cell phone?
you can. It's
35
one
to
of the best.
45 minutes?
That's another cool thing about running. You put your cell phone
Ah, my
And you-
head hurts.
down. You like unplug. It's so therapeutic.
We also got to
There's
talk about.
also some shorts. to
Yeah,
carry
yeah,
your
yeah.
cell
There
phone,
are-
right.
yeah.
Well, we also got to
Those
talk about
shorts
some of
is
the
shorts.
watch game I'm seeing. Some people have iPhone watches. They have you have a Garmin.
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 Garmin. So I
Mine
need to
has
get a Garmin at
music
some
on
point.
it. That's why I like it.
It's,
Okay.
It's whatever you're comfortable with.
So the
Your
main
watch is
the
perfect.
main reason I carry my phone with me is more so I can download the running app onto my watch. It's more so the music. And once I figure out how to play music on here, my watch, I'll probably not carry the cell phone. That all being said, Jenny, you get the final say. What final words of wisdom with regard to getting started for?
I can't wait to hear
Well,
this.
this is going to be
I love
really easy.
Jenny's
No,
words of
no, my
wisdom.
words of wisdom are real easy. It starts with the shoe. I mean, there's
Okay.
only one piece of equipment that you've got to have, and it's a good shoe. It's one that works well for you because the whole experience can be unpleasant if you're in a clunker of
true.
a shoe. So there's that. And, I agree with everything they said. You've just got to be relaxed about it. And truly, group settings are so much better than most people give them credit for. I mean, I hear this, I'm a loner and I'm a little intimidated. But all I'll say is come out one time, and if it's not for you, at least you've given yourself a chance. I just say come one time. That's
So
all
I
ask.
like the fellowship component of this.
And fun. I mean, we had a
Right.
birthday
It is fun.
party on the run yesterday. I mean,
So what I think is fun is even on days. So like Wednesdays, I do Brian Haldane's show in the morning, and I will sometimes meet the girls and guys for coffee at Magpie afterwards. And I'm in a suit, and they're all in running attire. You know this, right?
Yeah, we
Uh,
saw it.
yeah. So, but the fellowship that you
Amy's
guys
birthday's
have.
a couple weeks.
So
at
I
Magpie.
bought.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. You should come.
to the run.
May
That morning.
26th. Write it down. You got to come
That
to my
morning.
birthday party.
So
Okay.
so I've hung out.
Working.
I've hung out. I've had lunch with some of the guys before. I talked to. I'm in the Facebook Messenger group. I'm so excited. So I like it, and then also it takes some of the intimidating as a new runner. Now that I know that Corey's been running for almost 30 years, she looks like she could be 35 right now.
More than 30, almost 35.
I'm trying to give you a little.
But I'm not saying my age on the radio. So
Well, we've already done the math on this, so. But my point is, asking Coach or asking you or asking Corey a question that might be intuitively dumb, that gets an answer that is wonderful, and then by the way, it spares a little bit of wear and tear on my body. Awesome. So thank you, ladies, very very much for joining us.
We've enjoyed that.
We're gonna
Yeah,
keep
it's
track.
fun.
Y'all are also running the get your rear and gear run too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I've never cared so much about my colon as I do now at 42 years old. It's funny. Although I haven't gone there yet. But anyways, somebody actually, I'm in another group, fellowship, if you will, and some of the guys in that fellowship that are not runners said, hey, we need to do this together. And they were like, hey, we see that you're into running now. do you want to do this with us? And I thought a 5K was a safe number. I thought
absolutely.
because I've walked 3 miles before. I've not run 3 miles before. So, anyways, thank you guys for coming in the studio. You've been listening to Amy, Corey, and Jenny, Varsity Sports, as well as the Baton Rouge running community. And we'll definitely have you ladies back on. And then, look, if you need to get some running shoes, you definitely, Brian, you'll attest to this. You need to go.
Well, definitely.
Varsity Sports.
Absolutely.
It's the only place to get them.
Yeah.
So our next guest on the Go Rouge show is Amanda Vincent from Studyville. Ladies, you guys have a good day.
Thanks, Brian.
So, no problem. So I happen to know Amanda's husband. Amanda's husband is an attorney at one of the most prestigious law firms in Baton Rouge. And I saw that you guys had started something called Studyville. And then when I started peeling back some layers to this is kind of a cool thing. So what is Studyville, Amanda?
The best way to describe Studyville is we are like a WeWork, but for teenagers. And instead of secretaries, we've got tutors. So members can come anytime that we're open. Right now, our regular hours are Monday through Thursday, 3 to 9, Saturday, 12 to 5, Sunday, 12 to 7. And they can get on-site homework support. We have tutors who are there. They're ready to help them with chemistry and physics and algebra. And it's just for middle school and high schoolers. We've got free coffee. It's a really cool vibe, a really cool space.
So what caused you guys to start this idea, this venture? Because you're like just minding your own business,
We're parents.
right?
And
I'm familiar with the idea.
It was so frustrating because, you know, we have them in a good school and they're smart kids, but they weren't turning things in. Or we would go to a tutoring center, but I had to fit in on their schedule and I had to do it every single week. And if I didn't do it every single week, we would lose our spot. He didn't really need something every single week. Sometimes he just had a question that I couldn't help him with. I don't know if you have recently tried to help with Algebra 2, but it's changed, you know?
So I tell people all the time, now granted I have a 5-year-old, but
So you're not quite there.
no, but
Almost.
I'm a little worried about the future because I'm not a teacher for a reason.
Right.
And I'm not a mathematician for a reason. I did okay in my Catholic high grades in math were A's and B's, but I'm not trying to be something I'm not, is what I'm saying.
Okay, so, well, even if you were, Franz, they changed math.
Wait,
So
math is different now, right?
They changed it. They totally changed
Get
math.
ready, because I can tell
Yeah.
you yours is at the same place mine are. It's going to throw you for a loop for about 3 years, and then you'll catch back up by about 5th grade, 5th through 8th. You'll be fine.
Texas
as a dad.
Instruments,
So
baby.
it's-
Texas Instruments.
It's almost like Jeopardy, where you start with the answer and you have to figure out how to get there. And I'm just, what? No.
So
I don't.
So you guys are just cruising along. How many kids do you guys have?
We have 2.
Okay, so you have 2 kids, your parents, you're seeing a need, right?
Right.
And then at some point you decided
Well, Ben thought I was joking, I think.
Right.
Because he didn't really think I was serious. He was like, oh, that's a great idea. Because I would watch my son study with friends, and they would totally feed off of each other. Like, oh, yeah, I got to study for that math test we have tomorrow. And the other one's like, what? We've got a math test? I was busy working on the social studies guide. What social studies guide? And then it's like, who was paying attention in what class? They feed off each other. They work well together. And so I wanted that environment, and there just really wasn't a place other than my kitchen table.
right.
And I can't help them. So I thought, what if you could go somewhere else?
So in our remaining a minute and a half,
Yes.
and we're going to talk at the break.
Yeah,
we're on
sure.
Facebook Live right now. You just don't know that. If I want to get more information about it, where would I go?
Studyville.com.
How easy is that? Studyville.com. And then functionally, how does it work? If I have a middle schooler, what would I do?
So anybody can make any kind of appointment with us for private tutoring, ACT, SAT prep, any of our programs, our summer programs. Members can come in anytime we're open. And they just drop in and they can schedule an appointment online if they want a private session. But if they don't want a private session, they have access to homework support in the space.
So how many kids do you guys have now?
2.
You have 2? No.
Two.
I mean, in the program.
Oh, I was like, I just answered this question.
No. It's okay. She's married to a lawyer.
Yes, I am. Not at one time. This year we've had over 350 students coming in and out of our doors. We just opened in August. We had last month we had 400 in the past 4 weeks 400 private tutoring sessions.
So you've been listening to Amanda from studyville.com. We've got about a minute left. We're going to have Amanda stick around at the break to answer a couple more questions. And I love that you guys are doing this. And it's so
fun.
So I met your husband through a Baton Rouge Business Report Leadership Program. But we're gonna take a break, Brian. We're gonna be right back. You're listening to Go Rouge, www.gorouge.com, and we will be right back. All right. You're good. You come back over.
Perfect.
All right. So I didn't get a chance to brief you. That's my fault.
Okay.
So we're still on Facebook Live. You're piping in over here. You just didn't know it.
All right.
All right. So how do I ask this question? So what's the long-term plan with this? Just keep going the way you're going, or you're gonna open it up to K through 5, or are you just
We're
gonna
not
stick?
going to open it up through K
Yeah,
through 5.
that would be a zoo, I would imagine.
it-
And I mean that lovingly. I've got a little creature. If I have 11th graders, it stops being cool when the 3rd graders come in. Okay.
So we do 6 through 12.
Okay.
Middle
and
school, high school.
and without divulging the private information of your attendees, what is the spread in terms of
Across the board.
Okay.
And we have private school, parochial school.
That's
We
what I was
have-
really getting at.
We have public schools. I think we counted our students come from over 30 schools.
Awesome.
I wish there were a recipe. Sometimes a group of kids will come from one school, as friends. My kids are at Episcopal, so we have their friends. But we also have Westdale, Baton Rouge.
Well, just
High.
having a nice place for them to go after school, even if they don't necessarily need the tutoring portion, but a place to go
study together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause-
with supervision and with tutors who are available to answer the questions about chemistry that I cannot answer.
No, thank you. I don't want to do chemistry
No.
ever again. Thank you, Amanda, for coming in.
Of course.
You will be invited to come back, and if y'all have anything going on, let me know. I just wanted to get you on for a little bit to
thanks.
talk about it. Studyville, Amanda Vincent, www.studyville.com. We're gonna get the Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge in now.
Perfect.
But if you need anything, let me know. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Amanda.
Bye.
Super easy, right? Painless. I told Ben. I'm sorry. Ben was supposed to tell you. All right, cool. Bourbon Society.
Hey, my bad. I didn't realize that Jenny wasn't the full, or the varsity wasn't the full first segment. So that ran very long. So
You can do that if you want to. We'll talk about it.
no, I'll balance it.
How much time do we have remaining in the second segment?
19.
That's fine. Let me do my 2 minute, and I'll give them the rest of the balance, the residue of the time. Y'all come over here. All right. Wonderful people, you. Jamie's not here. Hey, Jamie.
You just have to deal with me.
Dorothy's is the crown jewel of this experience. So,
She's the vice president.
before we go live, Facebook, I've got Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge in the house. We are going to do a 2-minute intro, and then I'm going to introduce you guys to Andrew, Dorothy, and David. David's been on the show before. Slight things have changed, as you know. You may not know. Some things have changed in my life since last time we played with each other in booze. I actually don't drink anymore, but Brian is a advocate of spirits.
Yes.
I mean, he's not an alcoholic like I am, but I mean, it's neither here nor there.
Include the word functioning in the front end.
Yeah. So I'm going to kind of let you guys do some of the heavy lifting on this segment.
Sure.
I want to talk about what you guys are doing in terms of the charity component, and I am a big fan of the society. But in terms of actually talking about the spirits, I'm not the person to be doing that.
Yes.
So, all good though. I just wanted Facebook already knows, and you already knew. I didn't know if you guys knew. So, hey, I'm Franz. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Franz. Andrew.
Yeah. So that's going to be how we do that. We'll have about 17 minutes. So, and then whenever you're ready to do the intro.
Andrew.
Yep.
Nice to meet you in person. I believe I've had you on the show before.
Yep.
When y'all started making sanitizer.
Yeah.
Watch this. See, you're not in the picture.
That's okay.
I want you in the picture. You're in a sexy release, David. I need
I
you in
know
the
I am,
picture.
but
There you go. I don't buy the ticket for the David Steele ride, not ticket. I mean, Dorothy's a beautiful human being, but David is majestic. Sorry, guys.
All right,
That's what it is.
stand by.
I ain't been mute right after. All right, welcome to the second half of the Go Rouge radio show. This is your host, Franz Borchardt, episode 75. Second segment, we're going to be having the Baton Rouge Bourbon Society, Baton Rouge Bourbon Society. There is a difference. There's not two entities. So we're gonna have some great folks on talking about a good mix Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge is the proper nomenclature, Franz. A good mix of charity, a chance to get a very highly coveted bottle of Sugarfield Spirits. But before we jump into that, Brian, first half of the show we had Amanda Vincent from Studyville. Go to www.studyville.com. And then we also had Varsity Sports as well as a group of runners from the Baton Rouge running community. It only makes sense to me that this half we talk about booze.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. I think in the post game, the only thing that's going to be adjusted is both should have been their own shows
Right.
individually from start to finish.
Yeah,
Because I have a feeling this segment is going to be every bit as jam-packed as the last one.
So before we jump into that, let's thank our show sponsors. These are the businesses that make the Go Rouge show possible. Sullivan Steakhouse, your neighborhood steak restaurant. Check us out next Tuesday for Knockout Tuesday. That is a cocktail hour show we do live from the actual Sullivan Steakhouse. Great food, great cocktails. Their knockout beverage is amazing. The Borchardt Law Firm, that's my criminal defense firm. La Divina Italian Cafe, serving select wines, ice-cold beer, plus their exclusive sorbet mimosa. And last but not least, Dr. G, Dr. Gunja Reina, MD VIP at Heal 360, Concierge Medical Services. Great doctor. She has made my life a wonderful, wonderful adventure and journey. I've lost a ton of weight, a literal, not a metric ton, but I don't think a ton is metric anyway. But I've lost a ton of weight, and more than anything else, I feel great. So we're going to jump on in. Okay, so Jamie Steele, the better half of David Steele, reached out to me and said, hey, we got some stuff going on with the Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge. Do you mind if we have some airtime? And I'm like, Jamie, whenever Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge wants to come on the radio, we let Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge come on the radio. So I welcome into the studio David Steele, co-founder and president of the Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge, Dorothy Kemp, VP of the Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge, and then Andrew from Sugarfield Spirits. Andrew, say your last name for me. Salto. Yeah. So you guys are going to be sharing this mic. All right. So what's going on, David? Talk to me about what the Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge is and what's been shaken.
We are first and foremost a community. Yeah. We're just a group of people that like to hang out, drink bourbon, and we do a lot of charity work. We actually just crossed the 100,000+ raised in under 2 years. Mm-hmm. So we're pretty excited about that. Today, though, we are talking about our Screw Cancer Barrel.
Screw cancer. Cancer sucks, Brian.
It does. It really, really does. So what's cool about this one is we partnered with Sugarfield Spirits out of Gonzales, and we came up with this very uniquely different whiskey that has not been on the market before. It's a 5-year MGP rye whiskey that we finished in both a Napa Valley port cask and a red port that also held their rum.
So let's take a step.
Twice blessed.
Twice blessed. Let's take a step back. Let's assume that I'm a listener that knows nothing about what you just said. Exactly. What does that really break down to?
What it is, it's a rye whiskey, so it's going to be more spicy. Bourbon has corn as their mash bill. Rye has a rye, so think rye spice. You know what rye is. Spicy,
right.
Delicious. So it's that's finished in rum and wine casks. So you're going to get some of those really cool port characteristics like fig and apricot. You're going to get a lot of extra sweetness on the rum, and it just makes the spicy sweet, like Fig Newton creme brulee whiskey.
Creme brulee.
I mean, truly phenomenal whiskey.
Special, unique.
Yes. This is limited edition.
Okay.
One a year we're doing this. I mean,
It will be different casts every year.
If I could find it. And that's the when it comes to finding and look, one of the things I love about the Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge is when somebody finds something that's a little hard to get,
We share
you
it.
share it to the world of, hey, we can go to this store and we can get whatever. If I were to find this, retail wise, what would I probably spend on this?
So this one, it's pricey. That's $268.
Whoa!
But the caveat is that $100 from this is going to Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
Right.
So take that off. We're also giving you 5 tickets to our rare whiskey raffle, which is under $75 value. Comes in this collector's box, whiskey that you've never had before, that no one has ever got to try before.
Right.
And it's local spirit, local awesome.
I
It's,
like it.
you know,
So talk to me about how this fundraiser works. How do I get a chance if I'm a listener and I want a chance to win this unicorn of goodness? How would I have my chance of winning it? Is it a raffle? Is it a
So this bottle is not necessarily for raffle,
okay?
but you can purchase it by going to our Facebook page, Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge.
So I can just buy this
You
bottle.
can
Buy
buy
it.
this bottle, yes.
How many
Right
do y'all
now.
have?
we had 200. We're less than 100, about 80 or so left, I think.
You listening, Brian? You listening, Haldane?
Yes, I am.
We're releasing it tonight at Sugarfield Spirits, and I know that's going to get, once people start drinking it, it's going to get picked up quick.
So,
So,
Sugarfield Spirit, tell me a little bit about Sugarfield. You guys, by the way, thank you for all your coronavirus pandemic work that you guys did. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, no, happy to help with the community, like with the hand sanitizer and stuff like that. With this barrel, what this is a very unique barrel. David went over it a little bit. There's a new trend in the whiskey biz where people are finishing barrels and unique finishing barrels, and that's what we did here. We just found these 2 barrels that we loved, and we love what's coming out of them. And we pitched the idea to David to see if this was something that he'd be interested in, and a resounding yes was the response. And,
Awesome.
And it really blew us away. Like each time we tried this, because part of what we do is we are constantly trying all our barrels, making sure that everything in there's good. And as we were trying this, we would call David and be like, "Dude, this is just killer," and we'd have him over and at each level of the finishing, it just got better and better, and the finished product is just amazing.
So what I like about these Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge opportunities, I'm going to use the word opportunity, is I don't drink, but I might have somebody in my life that this would be an awesome gift for.
Father's Day is right around
Father's
the
Day
corner.
is right
Right
around the
around
corner.
the corner.
And more to the point, this thing, if kept in proper temperature and care,
yeah, it's
and
good
it's not going
for-
to go bad.
It'll last you 50 years, 100 years
Yeah.
if you let it.
So
If you cannot drink it.
that's
the hard problem.
Here's the problem. Here's the question I always have for you guys. And I'm going to use since I don't drink, I'm going to use the analogy of cigars. I find a unicorn of a cigar, and I try to buy 2 of them because I want to sit on one and I want to smoke it. There is no lighting the cigar and then saying, I'll save the rest of this cigar for 10 years. This, you could have a little taste of it and save it over time. But there's that compulsive hoarding side of me that's like, I want to just sit on it. I don't want to open it. I want that special occasion. So you guys are all experts in this arena. If you got a bottle like this, or if you want to gift something like this, do you sit on it? Or do you crack it and maybe have a glass and then sit on the rest of it? Talk to me about that. I want to hear the answer to this one.
What are you
I think
doing?
we all have a good opinion on
Yeah.
that.
That's what I'm reaching for.
I bought 2.
Okay, so you're like me.
I'm holding one forever. Because, again, like, this has been... So we had Red Six Media do all this design for us. This has been something that Drew, Thomas, and us, and Red Six have been working on for 5 months now. Like, so I want to hold one of these for the rest of my life, probably. That
Right.
one day my grandkid can open up and be like, oh, cool, this looks awesome, and hopefully he'll enjoy it as much as we
There's a
did.
great story behind it.
Yeah.
Right. So
So-
that's the other thing I like about it is the story that comes from the origins of these things, how they morph. The Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge during the pandemic had Zoom seminars. I taught one of them about cigars,
Yes.
about scotch, about different things. So I think I would be missing an opportunity to not emphasize the fact that besides just drinking, you guys raise a phenomenal amount of money and information for the community. Talk to me a little bit about what the Bourbon Society does besides just having bourbon.
Well, for us, it's one about the community, but not just our little bourbon community that gets together and hangs out all the time. It's really about outreach to the bigger community at hand. We just hit, I'll say unofficially, because this is the fundraiser where we hit $100,000 in less than 2 years of funds raised that went directly back to the community. This is a huge endeavor for us. We hope to raise a lot of money, but other things that we've done is we hold our annual Christmas raffle for Toys for Tots. We recently did a raffle for Folds of Honor where we raised $15,000 for that organization. I think that was 3 scholarships that we were able to provide.
3 scholarships
for Folds
families,
of Honors for
veterans
families. Yeah, veterans families. Just a whole host of different fundraisers for the community.
The only requirement for membership in the Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge is very minimal dues
Yep.
and a love of spirits,
And
right?
21. You have to
You have to be 20.
yeah.
Well, of course, you have to be legally. Thank you, Dorothy. You have to be able to legally purchase said booze. You missed the last segment where I was asking about a tutoring program, and the guest thought I was asking a question I'd already asked, and she called me out. She's like, "You already asked me that question," and I'm like, "No." Yeah, that's a good point. 21. So how many members do you guys have?
675, give or take.
Yeah.
And then when I was a member back in the day, which was only
A year ago.
about a year ago, when I was a member, there was also forums to have conversations about different topics. Is that still a thing you guys
Oh,
do?
of course, yeah.
All right. So if, in addition, let's say I don't get the screw cancer,
You can still support us
Right.
through. We're selling. If you don't want to buy the whole bottle, say it's just too much, or you're not into rye whiskey, which I would also argue try it before you say you don't like it, because everyone who's tried it has been blown away. But, or go ahead.
Yeah, I'd actually like to speak that a little bit. I am not a fan of rye whiskey, and actually, we did a barrel with you guys that was phenomenal, and then this barrel. So I think I actually am into rye whiskey. So it's one of those things where if you're not into rye whiskey, you just might not be trying the right whiskey. You know
so
what
the
I
way
mean?
I would wrap my brain around this is, one, we're fighting cancer.
Yes.
We are,
Just makes sense. Number two,
and it's local. It's
Local-
not that
okay.
big LS. It's the chapter here.
So, number two, and this is the question I really have for you guys is, okay, I could see someone who doesn't like rye whiskey saying, man, that's quite an investment for me to pull out the gate for something rare. Now, back in the day, I was a Scotch drinker, so me blowing money on Scotch was not something I breathe air, I spend money on Scotch. So my question is, if I wanted to ease into the rye world, if I'm a listener that drinks and I want to ease into the rye world to see if this is something I would want to invest in, which I do agree that you should donate and help you guys fight local cancer, what would be some recommendations? You know, I have to ask the sommeliers in the room
Yeah.
their recommendations. Good rye whiskeys to try to lead into this that would give something comparable.
Here's the best.
Even though I know it's a unicorn.
The best thing I would recommend is you still come to Sugarfield Spirits.
Right.
Sugarfield brought in 2 barrels of rye whiskey for us. We sampled them both. One, we kept it as ourselves because it was the better rye whiskey, and then the second one that was still really good is the one we aged and finished it in. So just come to Sugarfield, buy our barrel pick, $60 at Sugarfield you can buy right now.
Yep.
So that's going to be
which is very affordable.
very reasonable. So that's the base that this is before you do all the fun finishes.
So that is one of the things I love about the society is, and I use the analogy of the cigar world because that's what I'm into. I can sit next to a guy and we can smoke 2 admittedly good cigars. We all agree in the room, all the guys smoking in the lounge, these are good cigars. And we may have, very nuanced opinion about these cigars. Okay? And not, I think it's overrated, or I'm getting notes of this, I'm getting notes of this. But we can both agree, good cigar. And what I love about this is admittedly a special, unique opportunity.
Yes.
Less than 100 bottles left, man. Ooh,
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is there a limit?
No.
So if I just want to come out hard with $1,000, I could buy
4.
Oh.
No, we've had 2 people buy like corporate gifts, so they bought 5 each for their teams. So one for every member.
Mother's Day is right around.
Right
Yeah.
around the corner.
So I know some mothers that would be okay if you bought this for Mother's Day and sit on it for a year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So if I wanted to get more information about the Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge, David or Dorothy, where would I go?
You can go to our Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge Facebook page. There, the easiest place to find the link for our Screw Cancer Barrel. or you can go to bourbonsocietyofbatonrouge.com. Our
bourbonbr.com.
bourbonbr.com. That is also my email address. Sorry about that.
That's okay. It's okay. So let me ask you this. Now that the pandemic is coming to a head, well, it's not coming to a head, but we're getting there, right?
vaccinated.
Yes.
Right. So are we going to be having some Bourbon Society events? I don't want to get ahead of myself.
No,
but
we've already been having Bourbon
okay.
Society.
That is really what I'm getting.
We had a big.
I haven't been,
crawfish
as you
boil.
know, I haven't been
Yes.
attending.
Yeah.
But
We had a really awesome crawfish bowl at Point Marie in April.
Oh,
We're
such a
doing
beautiful
our.
space.
Oh,
I
it's
love
great.
the space. We do a lot of events out there. Obviously, tonight's our Screw Cancer release night at Sugarfield Spirits. Next month, we're having the launch of the Louisiana Bourbon Festival. We're doing a
You
big.
need to come back on that.
We
We
will.
are. We're gonna have
We
a
will.
big party at Solu, launching that. A rib off in July, and that's all the planned
So far,
events
yeah.
for
So
now.
if I wanted to get information about your spirits and Andrew and Sugarfield, where would I go?
SugarfieldSpiritsLA.com or our Facebook page or Instagram page.
Best way to get initiated with Sugarfield would be how?
Come out and see us. Is really,
Okay.
that's
Where are you
the
guys
best way.
located?
We're in Gonzales,
Okay.
right off of Burnside.
Okay. So y'all do tastings?
Yeah, we
I
do
know that.
tastings.
I knew the answer to that already, but
Tastings, tours,
And
cocktails. Yeah.
Andrew's one of the best mixologists in town. Literally one of the best.
So I'm going to invite you guys to. So I do Knockout Tuesdays at Sullivan's. I think you've attended Sullivan's before with me. I am going to invite the Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge to come out and have some fun with me, as well as you. I don't know if your fine, delicious beverages carried at Sullivan's, and if they don't cover it, they damn well should. But that all being said, thank you guys for joining us. I think this is an excellent way of fighting cancer on a local level. Excellent way of getting a bottle of something special. And look, join the Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge if you're not a member. If you even remotely like bourbon, whiskey, or scotch. And in fact, some people like other things outside that box, and you can talk to those people as well. All walks of life, all sorts of different jobs, businesses. Brian, you need to join.
Yeah, come on, Brian.
All right. That's about it for this episode of the Go Rouge Radio Show. You've been listening to Franz Borghardt. For more information about the Go Rouge Show, go to www.gorouge.com. And stay tuned over the next couple of weeks where I thoroughly smash and destroy Brian in the Fat Boy 50 weight loss competition. 6 pounds to the win. I'll be looking forward to my belt, Brian Holiday.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right.
I knew this was happening. It's all right.
It's all right. You can't be stopped now. It's like a train off the tracks. Can't be stopped. All right,
Yes,
that's
that is the
it.
best way to describe you.
Yeah.
It's like a train off the
See you
track.
next week, guys. So we're still on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
So very excited that you guys are doing this, and thank you guys for partnering up on that. I'm not going to say that I've spent. I can't sit here and say I haven't spent that much money on booze before, because I clearly have spent that much money on bottles of things that I thought were. Now, but I do like your style of getting two. I do, because I would totally be the guy that would get two and be like, sit on one and then. But something like that, you wouldn't guzzle that down anyway.
No.
No. You enjoy that over. I mean, the one I'll open tonight when I get home after everything's done. I'll have a sip tonight, then won't be in.
Do you drink it neat or
Yes.
on rocks?
I do neat. There's no judgment, however you want to drink it.
as well.
Okay.
If you want to do it on the rocks,
Do
there's nothing
everything
wrong.
neat, man. But again, no judgment. Like, drink it how you like it. That's
Right. Well, Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge. Anything else you need to tell everybody out there?
We didn't mention it on the show, but you can also, if it is too much, you don't want to spend this much on the bottle, you can buy raffle tickets. So
That's what I forgot to ask about.
we're selling, you get 5 raffle tickets for buying this bottle. So that's $75 value as well with the $100 donation. So if you look at it like that, but you can also just buy raffle tickets themselves, 15 a piece. Raffle, that's how the 100,000 we raised have all been through raffles. So this is the first time we've ever done like an actual item like this. But the raffle will include Van Winkle Lot B, George T. Stagg, Old Forester Birthday Bourbon. I mean, all really rare, crazy bottles. You're going to want to be a part of it no matter what.
Awesome. Thank you guys for joining us, Dorothy. I didn't know that you were the vice president. I like you sharing power. I like you sharing power.
She's taking over.
Well, the beautiful thing is it is a wonderfully diverse group of human beings. My favorite member actually smokes cigars, works at Exxon. I'm not going to shout her name on the radio or on.
I'm not your favorite member.
What?
Jamie's probably not.
Wow.
No, I do like Dave.
No, don't even.
I can't now. Anyways, that's it. Brian, you can go on and shut Facebook down. anything I can do to help, let me know. When you want